Hello and welcome to another unboxing. So I basically picked up a load of stuff off of eBay and online Facebook groups over the last couple of weeks. And I thought I'd open up on camera and see what I've got. So the first thing I got was this, the Mego Batmobile. Now this Mego Batmobile, I think I paid £12 for it. Generally speaking, they can go for anything between £50 to £60, £30 sort of price, up to about £200 depending on the condition and if it has the box or not. This one doesn't have the box and it's got a few issues, so I'm going to be selling it for about £25–30. I've already got one in my own collection, so it's not like I need to upgrade it or anything. Mine's slightly better quality. So first off, the stickers are actually alright. They're a bit faded, which is usual with these sort of toys. This toy's nearly edging towards probably 50 years old. It needs a clean though, so I'm going to have to give it a bit of a polish, give it a bit of a wash over. Unfortunately, one of the axles on the back wheel's got a little bit bent over the years, so Batman's become a bit, what's the word, been driving quite recklessly, so I need to work how to fix that. It shouldn't be much of a problem though, but it's just cheap. If you can get yourself a Batman Robin sort of Mega figures to go along with it, it does look good. Stickers are usually always worn away. Just needs a bit of a polish really, a bit of a clean, and I need to sort out that wheel. It should be stamped the year. Mega Corporation, I think it is. Yeah, it's 1974. So in the UK, Batmobiles were available in the Argus catalogue only, I believe. So they were obviously made in the US and Canada, but in the UK you can only get these in Argus catalogues, so I've been told. They come in different style boxes. I think in the UK we have like an orangey pink box, and in the States they have a blue white box as well. He's not in the worst condition, it could be worse. But it's a nice little item. It looks good when you have the figures placed in there. You've got Batman and Robin in there. It looks good, and the wheels still work. Sorry, the steering wheel, should we say. It should have like an antenna, I think, like a piece of plastic, but it's only a little piece. So overall, for £12, that's not bad, and it look nice on my stall. Next up, it's time to get a bit negative, unfortunately. When you buy things off eBay, if you are a buyer or seller most importantly, what you need to do is you need to understand who your customers are when you're selling. If you're selling, say, a book for £2 and it's just a normal paperback book, you can just put it in a jiffy bag and post it, because chances are that person is not going to be a collector. If it's worth £2, it's not worth much, and they're only going to maybe read it once and maybe throw it away or donate it, or maybe relist it again and sell it themselves. When you buy high-end collectibles or collectibles from that collectors obviously want to get in the best condition, when people have paid up for items like I have now, you really need to make sure that you provide them the correct way of sending an item. So you need to make sure that you provide them with a good service. Sending this item in a bag is not good service. I've had one turn up so far. I'm still missing the second one, but this is not good. So I know what this is. I mean, you can tell it's ripped here. The bag is literally ripped open already. I say that like I've even when I pulled the sticker off, but the other one I had was ripped open. I mean, it's really thin, and this is a carrier bag. Why would you send this item in a carrier bag? You'll see what I mean now, because I know what it is. I mean, like, look, sellotape the size of a mega inch. This is really disappointing, actually, really disappointing, because hopefully it survived, but this is a WWF axe figure definition. Now it's bubble. I can't see any. Well, there it goes, crack right there. Now, I couldn't see that crack when I purchased it. The crack wasn't described at all because obviously the person sending it could not be bothered to do any sort of customer service. The card, it's wavy, which didn't look that wavy when I bought it. The figure looks alright. Obviously, there's still a bubble stud attached. It's just very disappointing because this card could have been in a better condition when it came to me. I don't think it was in amazing condition. I'm not expecting it to be mint at all, but you would have thought a little bit of care. Put it in a box. These things, are, people might say, oh, it's only a 90s toy, or, but these things are becoming less and less and less. I mean, collectors are buying them up. Other people send them in the post, pouring and breaking them. So it's kind of like, these things are becoming more rare. They're not becoming more available. These things, as time goes on, these things the bubbles are deteriorating, the cards are getting warped, people are ripping them open, having mint figures in their collection, which I don't really agree with, but I can understand if it's your item. These things are getting less and less and less, and how can you fully well know what this is, put it on eBay for the price that you're asking, and then send it in a bag? Because what would happen was, if that bubble there, I could. I'm not going to, but I'm going to maybe leave some feedback on them. But I could basically say, oh, that crack wasn't there when they originally sold it. Then I have to send it back to them, and then they will have to then put it back on eBay, and it takes me ages to get my money back. And it's just, what's the point? I could probably make money on this at the moment anyway, but it's very little. I mean, it'd been better if that crack was, told about it. I mean, it's not that hard. I can understand, you don't have to name every single card wave or crease, or if there's loads of bubble cracks on it, you don't have to mention every single one, but to say, there's loads of bubble cracks, there's a few bubble cracks, the card's wavy, with but yeah, some people, sorry to be negative, but, if you're sending an item to somebody who's a collector, if they paid a lot of money for it, box it. If it's an item that can get damaged, box it. If you're sending, I don't know, a little Lego brick that big, you don't have to box it, put it in an envelope or a jiffy bag, because it's going to be fine. But when you get something like this, cardboard and then really thin plastic, box it. Anyway, on to the next item. So luckily, this item you probably wouldn't be able to see. I had a bit of foresight of buying these. These are free, you could probably not see them at all. These are free acrylic cases, which you make up, and then you put your wrestling figures in. They do these for Action Man and G.I. Joe. They do these for Star Wars, but the Star Wars ones are better. They're like a hard acrylic case. These are the flimsier ones, but these are still good. I'll make one up now and I'll show you what it's like. So here it is. This is another card I picked up, which also came in a bag. Annoyingly. This one here has scratch marks on it. The bubble's actually fine, I think, on this one. If I remember rightly. Maybe a bit of lifting at the side. No, it's good. It's got that awful, you can see it, the card lifted up. So these are the kind of containers that these figures go in. They're not the best protection in the world, and if you drop these from a height, they would crack. They say they're like shatterproof, but they're not really, because obviously they're quite flimsy. My dad has dropped a Action Man one before, but these are quite nice. These were approximately, I think I paid £9 for free, which might seem a lot if you've got loads of figures, but when you're trying to protect stuff, this makes it really good for when you're selling on a store, for example, or in a shop, because you can literally, or even in your collection, you can stack them, you can pick them up, be a bit manhandle them ever so slightly, and they can, they don't get busted up. So I bought 3 of these. I'm expecting some more figures on card, so hopefully this will help them sell. This one's quite cool. This is a character called Big Boss Man. Now, I don't remember WWF that much as a kid. I was born in '88, so my first sort of memory of it was around about '93, '94, when it was at its height. The next door neighbour of mine, they were like a year older than me, 2 years older than me. There's 2 of them, and they had this figure, and this is one of the only figures I can really remember from that sort of era. And so I do find him quite a lot. loose. He's quite easy to find at car boot sales. He's quite easy to find at toy fairs. They're relatively cheap WWF figures. It's surprising because they're so popular. You'd have thought that actually there would have been a massive market for them. But loose, without their accessories, they're literally £2, £3 at the most. A lot of I've had a few in the past and I just kind of struggle to get rid of them really. On carved, they're a bit more popular and they go quicker. But this is not, this is not a mega rare card. I'm probably going to put it out for £45. I might see if I can slightly get that bent corner to go back down again. But there are some rare ones, like every toy line. There's always rare ones. I think it's Dusty Rhodes, is it? Which goes for a couple of hundreds. I know Andre the Giant goes for quite a lot of loose. There he is there. I've seen people try and ask like £20 for Andre, but I think that's a bit too much. But you can usually get him he usually goes for about £10, £11 loose. Jake the Snake, I see him all the time, but he's usually always missing his snake. Hulk Hogan's very easy to get hold of, but people like to snap the fingers off. Macho Man Randy Savage, he's a good one. He's the one that everybody wants. So is Ultimate Warrior. I've never seen Akeem or Smash. I've seen Ravishing Rick Rude before. So this one has his Hard Time Slam. But yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with this little these little plastic cases. It makes Saturn look so good. It always makes Saturn look like I don't want to sell it now because I want it in my collection. But it is what it is. I'd probably price it up, and if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, I might just add it to my collection and maybe every now and then take it out to a show. Alright, we have another one. As I just said, this is Jake the Snake. This one does have a bit of damage. Unfortunately, I've paid a bit too much for it. He did look like he was yellowed, but the seller didn't say that there was any bubble cracks at all, which there is. There's a bubble crack on his feet, I believe. Yeah, right on his foot right there. You can see it poking out. Which is a real shame, really. I should have noticed it, really. I'm new to buying these sort of WWF figures. So one of the things I need to do would be more, and this is the same as everybody else, is if you ever see an item you think, that's nice, I'm going to put money on it, ask them more questions. An honest, good seller will get back to you and give you more questions, and give you more answers to your questions. But this one's quite cool. This one here is actually in, I just realised, I believe that's Spanish. Hasbro, either it's Spanish or it's Mexican. For the Mexican market, I imagine it was Spanish. These cases are really cool. I mean, I'm probably going to try and get a few more now, just to see if I can fit any other figures in there, in these cases. One thing about collecting carded figures is finding cases which fit these figures nice and snugly is very rare. Star Wars, you get every single thing you want in Star Wars. But when it comes to other toy lines, you just can't find these sort of cases. I really would like to get cases for the Biker Mice from Mars toy line, because they're really tall. I like up here, and you just can't find them. You can find ones with Star Wars. You can find ones with G.I. Joe. By default, the Star Wars ones, the vintage Star Wars line, also fits the vintage Kenner Indiana Jones line as well, I believe. It's so easy to come by. You can get cheap ones which are like thin plastic like this, but you can also get the harder cases. Now I'm one of those people that doesn't really I don't really dislike graded toys. I'm not a big fan, but I'm either way. But what I do like about toys is when they're displayed properly in cases like this, because it just protects the toy. Don't get me wrong, I do believe in loose toys. I like loose toys out and displayed. When it comes to carded items and things which are quite rare, I do like them in a case. I just think it looks nice. I think it displays well, makes sure items look cleaner, and it will obviously stop dust gathering on the toys as well. I don't think these cases are, sunlight protected, so you need to be aware of that when you purchase them. But I bought these on eBay. The more you buy, the cheaper they are, basically. But anyway, let's go on to some more toys. So I I went to my I went out to pick up some parcels, and when I was out, I just glanced over to my car, and then, well, an old car, it's not running at the moment, and I noticed underneath the car was a parcel. I keep thinking, no, it's just a bit of rubbish, it's just a box that hasn't been put in the bin. And this was delivered on the 25th of November, so I don't know what this is. Shame really, because it's annoying that it was left there. I didn't have a card for the door, but yeah, it's what it is. Should we see what's inside? I have actually no idea what this is. Hopefully it's something made of paper. Right, I'm going to take away this box and show you what this is. So I'm a little bit annoyed. He was placed outside, but for what he was worth, I don't think I can get him in the picture. Can you tell who he is yet? This is, of course, the original 1960s Dr. Dolittle. So he's a little bit loose for wear. His head needs a bit of a clean. Unfortunately, he's supposed to talk, but he doesn't. And his trousers are ripped open. I didn't realise his trousers were ripped open when I purchased the item. So I will probably need to work out how to sew. Try and fix that. I think that's where the talker would have been, unfortunately. Shouldn't be poking that, should I? But I can't really get him in picture because he's obviously quite so tall. I mean, he's talking at least 22 inches higher, I reckon, easily. But Dr. Dolittle was very popular back in the day. You know, they made a few items. I think they made a car. I believe they made a they definitely made a lunchbox. I've had the lunchbox before, a metal lunchbox. But this was, I think this was like £10. Now, if he was mint condition with his hat, I think he's worth about 100. But, you know, it's cool, he looked good on the stall. And Dr. Dolittle film comes out next year, so I'm pretty sure this will do well. We have another box. Now, this item comes from a YouTuber I watch quite a lot. He buys and sells everything. He's like a reseller. He makes his money by buying up stuff at auctions, car boot sales, that sort of thing, and then reselling them. And he bought a load of action figures, and I kind of thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to jump in and get some if I can. He purchased, I think it was like 15 figures or something. But one of the figures he did have, which most of the figures were modern, not really my sort of thing, and he was pricing them, you know, correct price. But I thought I'd send him an offer on this one. This is The Spy Who Loved Me. I believe her name is Anya Amasova. It's got a bit of a crack in the bubble, which is annoying. I didn't realise that, but it still looks good. I mean, they did these James Bond action figures about 20 years ago now, during the Pierce Brosnan era, and I had my brother had the Jaws figure. But it looks like it's one of those things where it was, there you are, 1998. As a kid, I would absolutely love to have James Bond action figures. They just didn't exist. I mean, they don't really exist now. You can't really get James Bond toys in the sense of like an action figure series, which I always found quite odd, to be honest. I mean, you can get cars, you can get toy guns and accessory sets. You can get Skeletrick, you can get board games, video games as well. But you just could not get action figures. And as a kid, I really wanted them. It's one of the reasons why I really love the Reaction line that they're making now for is it? I want to say it's Super 7. That's what they call them, where they do things like the Jaws, Back to the Future, Alien toy lines. Because as a kid, I wanted accurate figures from accurate toy lines, and you just couldn't get them, which is a real shame. And I love the Reaction figures nowadays because they really do try and get that kind of like, they make toys, which is what I like about them. The toys of lines that we should have had. I really want them to do a James Bond line, because that would be amazing. Imagine you could have over 100 figures. There's what, 7 James Bonds now, I think. There's probably at least 25 bad guys you can do. At least 25, 30 odd Bond covers you could do. And other characters. So, you know, if Super 7 reaction are hearing this, you know, get on to the James Bond license. You know, and you can split profits with me. But you know what, this was £10 plus postage, so not amazing deal. I mean, I will put this out for about £20 on my stall. There'll be a collector who comes by, just needs it for their collection, and go, you know what, I'll have that. It's one of those figures where, you know, it's not highly in demand, but most of my stall, or my dad's part of the stall, should we say, is James Bond. So it's just good to have James Bond stock on the stall, really. So we have another big box. Obviously you can't see it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this open, and I know what this is, and I'm going to take out bit by bit. Now, this wasn't the figure what I thought it was. I originally thought I was getting a box of Masters of the Universe He-Man figures, which I bought, I think it was about a week ago now. They obviously haven't turned up, which is not a problem, because I didn't expect them to turn up today. But what I did get, you can see, I'll have to put the camera back, is this. The A-Team Interceptor Jet Bomber. I paid around about £25 for this. It's made by Galoob. It's pretty much all there, including the plastic in the bits in a tray, which I was worried about. I had to have it needs a bit of restoration work. As you can tell, the top bit, flap is a bit rubbish, and it's covered in dirt. Even now I can feel it on my fingers. So this sort of set, people were asking, like mint condition ones, like 250 quid, and they're going for like £150, £100 in good condition. So this is below good condition, I would say. Obviously, it's got creases and it's dirty and it needs a clean. And this looks like a yellowed. I don't think it's reflected off the yellow. I think it's actually yellowed plastic. So I'm going to restore this by flattening out the top bit, giving it a good dust off. You can always use the whole lighter fluid trick, which gets rid of all the grime. But it's such a cool little toy. I mean, jet planes were really popular in the 80s. Things like G.I. Joe and Transformers, you know, the jet plane was like seen as the coolest item of all time. So it's pretty cool. It comes with some figures. I'm not really sure if it originally came with those figures. I think they're just extras. So I might just pop those figures out and sell them separately, or I might leave them in the box. But overall, it's always good to get A-Team stuff on your stall. A-Team sells very well. People are really in demand for it. I don't know why. They just absolutely love it. I mean, it's such a cool line to collect. There's not many items in the line, so you can pretty much pick up the whole line for around about £1,000 most likely. I'm not really sure of any rare items. I know there's a command center which goes for a bit, but if you had £1,000, you could probably pick up most of the line carded, loose. It's not already a big expensive line to go for. Okay, I think that's all. I'm still missing my He-Man job, a lot of stuff, but apart from that, wish we could do that next week. We can go for that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Just before we go, I just want to mention that tomorrow we will be selling at the Cirencester Toy Fair. So if anybody's in the area, come along, say hello. We're always happy to do deals, as always. It's always good to support your local toy shows, as well as the big ones. We've got NEC on the 27th of December 2019 as well. So come along to that if you're off. Anyway, as again, thank you for watching.